Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Facebook and YouTube. Kristen Ryder here with episode 7 of Who Are You? Who, dun, 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 who are you? Who. I am so grateful to be here with you all today to present a goddess. And before I introduce her fabulousness to you, I do have a few announcements. If you need an astrology reading, KristenRyder.com. If you want to book a private sound healing, KristenRyder.com. If you would like to sign up for the octahedron activation of my Platonic Sound program, for this Saturday, August 3rd at 11 to 1 p.m. on Zoom. KristenRyder.com. I have split the program up to make it a la carte of only $111 for each Platonic solid to help assist those that want this technology. We activated the cube last weekend. Y'all, this technology is humbling and it is powerful. So if that feels like your heart might light up by participating, KristenRyder.com. And things are getting real, my friends. I am so grateful to bring to you the gorgeous, the fabulous, the marvelous Judy Calabrese. And you are the frontier goddess of your amazing coaching program titled Soul Desire Coaching. Yes, Judy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for having me.
You guys, I had to chase her. I had to chase her for weeks. And y'all, if you don't know Judy, she and I have known each other here in Asheville, North Carolina for what, 5 years?
A little more, yeah.
5, 6. I mean, since our kids were babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We met through what is now known as Genius Frequency with Dr. Lum, Dr. Brian Lum, and Dr. Chelsea Ray Lum now. And we would go get our entrainments together with our children at the juice bar. And then I remember meeting you and I was like, who is she? This girl's a performer, and I was performing back then, and I had come to see some of your performing, and you have transformed that. So how long have you been in Nashville anyway?
12 years.
Wow.
From New York City.
Same.
Yep.
I wonder if we saw each other in New York City.
Weird. Yeah.
I mean, I was in Long Island at the time. Where in the city?
I was born and raised in Queens, lived in Brooklyn. Yeah. I was born and raised in Queens, recently. Before I moved to Asheville, I was in Brooklyn. But between those things, I lived many different places in the world, sort of have a gypsy heart. So I found out recently that my Mayan astrology my sign is road, which is a born traveler. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense because that's how I feel, But I've been in Asheville the longest ever, 12 years. And it's been really a good, solid home for me. Very rooted, very grounded here.
Which a lot of people don't necessarily say about the mountains when they come here. But when you get the call, you got to go. So I completely understand the gypsy life because that was my past as well. And I love that your Mayan astrology. I'm a white resonant wizard. I know.
It's so funny. I'm road and death, which is the card of transformation, which is incredible.
And that's pointing to the little, y'all, she's got some Scorpio. She's a Scorpio rising, y'all. Look out. She's a
Venus
Scorpio
in Scorpio, rising. Neptune in Scorpio, Jupiter in Scorpio, but my sun sign saves me. I'm a Libra.
Yay. And you're getting these eclipses. Yeah. So fascinating. What was your journey? I mean, first of all, what brought you to Asheville?
Yeah, I was studying to be a midwife. I was a doula for many, many years, doing the work of supporting families in their transformations, right? So it was soul work. I mean, it was supporting families. I've attended over 80 births.
Wow.
And I was working in the Netherlands where I lived for a while, and then I had gave birth to my second daughter there. I have 3 children. I'm the mother of 3. And then when we moved back to New York, I started my doula practice there. And I was in the hospital system and on what I call the front lines. And it was wonderful work, but it was grueling work. And I wanted more control, right? I wanted to help people have better choices. So I found a traditional midwife that worked here in Asheville, and I moved here with my whole family to study with her. And Spirit spoke to me during that time, and literally, quite literally, it was one of the first clairaudient experiences I had. Spirit said, "You're not a midwife." And I was like, "I moved my whole family here. What are you talking about?" Literally, this is the dialogue I'm having with Spirit. And
Yeah.
Spirit
Oh,
goes,
yeah. No,
Spirit goes,
look,
Spirit,
girl. I have goose. It's
this
on.
is the
It's
this is
on.
the answer. The Spirit goes, "Not that kind of midwife. Anything else?
Relocated
Anything
my
else?"
whole family for this, and you're telling me that's not what I came here to be? It doesn't. Mother,
It's,
Father, God works in such mysterious ways because y'all,
it's
I never
incredible.
did it my way.
I mean, I was like, no. So of course, my will, I was still very much in my mind then.
Mm.
I didn't yet realize, I didn't quite realize that consciousness is always leading us forward, and that the mind really needs to be in service to consciousness, right? I was still like, no, one last hurrah for the mind. So I finished the midwifery program by hook or by crook. It was like falling apart around me. And I was like, I'm going to finish it. And in that process, of course, when you're battling the soul, when you're battling consciousness, it's suffering. You go through suffering. And so I suffered greatly in finishing that program. But in that time, I wrote my first show, which was a one-woman show that I put up here in Asheville. And I was like, this is it. And so for the next 10 years, I wrote, directed, and produced my own theater performances here in Asheville. And
Yeah.
that's when I met you. Because I felt I'd been an actor for a very long time and a writer for a very long time, but I was always, in my mind, always doing other people's work.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna go do this toothbrush commercial, and I'm gonna go do this person's play, and I'm like, but my words want to come out, but I was like, no, I can't. I'm just an actor,
Mhm.
And then I
Oh,
came to Asheville, and Spirit spoke, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and it was super empowering because I had to. If I'm going to speak my own words, well, then they better be truthful and they better be
yes.
connected.
Yeah. I totally understand. I too did my own one woman
Yeah,
shows,
I
one at
know.
NC Stage, and then one at it moved to the block, Healer by Day, Hooker by Night,
Yeah,
hilarious. And it's a very empowering thing to step in. It's a lot more work. It has its challenges,
oh
but
yeah,
you find out what you're made of and the marketing and this and that. And so you did that for 10 years. Amazing. And
yeah.
then what shifted that you just were like, okay, I've done it. Like, were you bored or?
No, I wasn't bored. I feel like the time that we're living in is like living in an ultra centrifuge, which is, that machine, that technology that separates, atoms. And that's how it felt, right? It felt like I had been doing it for 10 years, and my business was like getting to the truth of who I am. My work was autobiographically based and also always based in sexuality and
Mhm.
sexual identity,
And you
which
are
is
stunning, and because you are sexy, and you know it. Dun 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 dun. And your performance, like when I saw
yeah.
you, I was like, "Oh, girls got it. Girls got it." I was like, "Oh, so
And
amazing."
again, like, right, I would always get these questions about sex or sexuality, and people were like, "Oh, you write like erotica, or oh, is it like burlesque?" I'm like, no, sex to me is the language of transformation. It is our create, it's a language. First of all, sex is a language, and I wanted to portray it in more authentic ways, not so much just titillating, right? Or,
Yeah.
showing this or that. It wasn't about that. It was about how does sex inform our identities, our beingness? How does the expression of it show up in our lives? How is that expression different from how we interface in everyday life? And what is the power that sex has to transform us? If it is the ultimate creative energy, it creates babies, it can create anything, right? And
Yeah.
so working with that energy for 10 years, everything I wrote was based in what I just described. And so by the time I got to my last show before 2020, whatever the way when the world changed, I had the most like success. I had the show go up at the Diana Wortham. We sold out. It was amazing. It was blah blah. And I felt like I came to the end of something. I like hit the wall, like in the Truman Show, and I'm like, oh, what now?
Mm.
And then I went into a little bit of a hibernation, but then the world shut down, so I went into a giant
Whoosh. Yeah.
hibernation.
We all said,
And
"Hey, can we join you, Judy?"
right? And I had to sit, like all of us, I had to sit with myself. I
Yep.
had to sit with myself, and I'm like, okay, all right. So all the theaters are closed down, and all this and that, and so I did a couple of like live storytellings. I did what I could, but I was like, this something is changing. The work is right. The veils are coming down again on another level. Who am I really? Who
Yes.
am I?
Well, that's exactly what I went through because I was going through my set list of healer by day, hooker by night, and I was like, "Oh, they sold out. They sold out." And I have a lot of 11s in my chart, and I just saw how many bullets, and I was like, "No wonder my voice wasn't on board." You know, like,
Yep,
"Oh, I can't go back to this because
that's
I
it.
would be
The
a
wall.
hypocrite." Or yeah, the wall.
Not
Like,
there
I
anymore.
lost my integrity. It's
That's
like,
it.
and seen,
Yeah, and
right?
seen. And so I was like, but then, okay, so if I'm not a writer and I'm not an actor and I'm not a producer or director or performer, okay. And then it was like, wow, oh, I really attached myself to these identities. What else can I take apart? What else can I unwind? And it was like, then it started to gain momentum. And it was like all the identities just kind of like started
Wow.
shaking down. Like, are you a lover? Are you a partner? Are you a mother? Are you a friend? And it was like, it got to the point where I was just spirit, existence, God, source, universe, just like stripped me to the bone. Like I mean, we were all going through it, obviously, during those last 4 years, and we still are. And I took every day was like, okay, what now? Oh my God, what now? But I was also as I stripped down all these identities and unwound from like my connection and my real like codependence with them, I started
Mm.
to experience so much incredible joy. My nervous system was calmer. My relationships with my children improved, and then my friends, and then my greater family. And I was like, what is this? So in the letting go, in the like, maybe I'm nothing. Maybe I am only spirit. Maybe I just am beingness. Maybe I just am existence. And I don't mean to get like too woo here, like oh, I'm just like a floating rainbow. Like
No, it's not. That
it's
is not what that is
grounded. It
at
is
all.
fucking
Oh my God.
grounded. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like, how do you approach the store clerk in the supermarket? How do you approach your son when he's tantruming? Like, how do you approach the opportunity that you didn't get? How are you then? And I'm like, I'm not attached. It's fucking amazing to me when everything that I was doing, yes, it was based in truth and I was working as an artist and but I wanted a result. I wanted an outcome. I wanted it to look a certain way, and not that I don't like pretty things, right? It's not about that, but the outcome is no longer what is desired. It is literally the living experience of being who I am without identity, with just by fucking beingness is enough.
Yes. Ah, we're gonna yes. I love it.
I
Yes.
mean, it's true.
It
I
is
know
so
you know it's true.
I totally girl. Like I'm like, we're going out sometime in the future. That's all
Oh,
I
yes.
oh yeah.
Yes, babe. We haven't. We have never been out. It's
I
crazy.
mean it's just dumb. It's just dumb. But it's time now
But that's
because
it. The time wasn't now
yeah.
we are in that the time. The
So
time is now.
so I'm this is when your coaching of soul desire
That's it. It just
birthed. Is
rose.
that right?
So I started doing sex coaching. I was doing sex and relationship coaching for singles, for people, in the dating world, for couples, for married couples, for single men, single women. And because of my work on stage, people would randomly email me like, "Hey, can I get your advice?" And I was like, "This is weird." And so as I started, listening more deeply, and my work had totally transformed. I'm not doing stage work anymore. So what am I doing? I was like, I love these conversations with people. They're so juicy. And even that I had to let go of and transform, because as this sort of like awakening process continued, I'm like, this isn't just about sex. Yes, it's a wonderful place, a medium, let's call it, or a language to look at transformation, but it goes beyond that too. So that's when Soul Desire really was birthed in the last year of me going, how can I dig even deeper? What are we
Yeah,
really,
it
Kristen?
feels like your a sacredness was being birthed
Yeah,
into it. Is
yeah,
that right? Like that's
yeah. My sex for me has always been in the realm of the sacred. It's always,
too.
but even more so. It went through even like a purification process, and I'm like, it's sex cannot be anything but sacred. I'm like, okay, then if it can't be anything but sacred, then what does that mean? Then how does that? Because not everybody came to me and wanted sacred sex, right? They wanted all kinds of
Right.
things.
They're
And I
like,
was like,
"Mm,
no, that's no longer true for me.
right? It's like that's not who and what a test though, like, oh, universe is like, "Are you sure that identity's gone? Are you sure you're done with that? You
Oh,
sure you
sure.
didn't?" And people still ask me if I'm gonna do another show, and I
Me
look at
too. Me too.
have I been stuttering these last 4 years? Like, no. Like,
Mhm. I know. I
we
know.
don't know what our new roles of performing are, but like
Mm.
at Unite the Light through Serious Joy, I mean, I did a sound healing for 200 plus people. And girl, I'm not
That's
gonna lie, it
beautiful.
felt great to hop
Oh, I
back up
bet.
on the
I bet.
stage, but to
Yeah.
do my magic, and
Yeah.
this is your magic. This is your
Yeah.
magic. I love it. So that's when you're like, okay, this is soul desire coaching,
Yeah.
and let's navigate these conversations and start pitching it in a different way. Or what was your
Yeah.
process?
Can we really just drop in to right now? This isn't therapy. I'm not dragging in the past. Can we be present in the right now? And who are you? Right? I can't believe that's the name of your show, because it's literally like my mantra. Who are you right
You know the
now?
story of that, right?
Yes, with the in the womb, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I even like I said hi to you on Facebook. I was like, because the name was so resonant. I was like, I'm literally saying this to all my clients, like, but who are you really? Like, can you drop that which is not serving you? That you, whether it's daughter, good daughter, or wife, or whatever it is, mother. What happens when we let go of that? It's terrifying. I even saying it out loud. I'm like, no, I'm a mother. No matter
Yeah,
what, I'm a mother.
right. Because
Okay,
it's a comfort zone.
it
Like, and
is.
it's like, okay. And, in this evolutionary healing and ascension process, like the honesty that it
Mhm.
requires with ourselves, that alone, just
That's it.
saying, I'm going to stop all the distractions and drop in the now. And
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. That's where all the power is.
Yeah.
So how did your clients like deal with that shift of
I
conversation?
mean, what's the truth? The truth is that a lot of them dropped away, because I
You changed.
wasn't teaching them. I wasn't available for BDSM techniques.
What is
Hey,
BDSM technique?
BDSM techniques are great. Like, how can I spank my wife appropriately? I'm like,
Oh, okay, got it, got it.
it's
Girl,
great. That
I've
stuff's
never
great.
needed I've never needed classes. I'm a little bit of
Right.
a tourist.
It's super fun. It's fun work, and I think it's great, and I want that for people. If you want that for yourself, that's great. So a lot
Sure.
of them didn't come along with me, and then what happens, right? When you let go of that which is not aligned, then new amazing things show up. I'm like, wow, you want to work with me? Like, it's a completely different. I'm attracting completely different clientele. People,
Sure.
right? It's like it's the next evolution. It's the next incarnation of like who I am, and who can hear me, right? Who can feel me, who is like, oh, I want some of that. And my Kristen, you probably have the same, but I don't have a website. I'm really not. You've chased me because I'm really not into social media. I'm not. I really, on my Instagram page, it says, I'm here to speak to the silence and translate that silence. That's really where I live and where I can meet people, in those quiet places that where we feel alone. That that to
Where
me is like,
intimacy can be present in
that's
a
it.
safe,
That's the
safe
lotus of like
way.
that mushy, muddy, dirty place where we're like, oh my God, I'm so alone. That's where the magic is. And that's where I like to meet people, in that silence, in that quiet place, and ask, what's there? What's there?
What's revealing to you in this
Yeah.
now? So do you do a lot of your coachings online? Do you do Zoom and in person? Or, I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
I
lot
do
of
both.
us.
FaceTime, Zoom, and in person. Of course, I prefer in person, but some of my clients, I'm fortunate enough to say, are in other places, and I have some in New York and in Europe, and so it's wonderful to be able to like. I can. I'm really good at just focusing and zooming in on your energy, so I can read and get the downloads and the messages, because I really am doing the work as a conduit and a facilitator. I'm not
Yeah. Oh, no.
here
I mean,
telling anyone what to do. I'm a direct reflection of whoever it is that I'm meeting with. I'm communing with.
it's like you're a Libra or something. Well, and this is interesting too, because did you find another, when the nodes shifted and the South node went in July of
Huge. Oh my God.
2021, or no, 2022.
Huge. Yeah.
Um, is that when you noticed a big level up because it was like, you have to let go of this?
Yeah. It was quite a. I did one last show in April of 2022, and people still talk about that show. They're like, oh my God, when are you going to do another one? It was a like immersive 360-degree theatrical experience for 4 hours. And you just were surrounded by theater. It was definitely the thing that I was the most proud of, because it did feel the most sort of spiritual. You were in it, and people were moving around you, and you were interacting, which is like my dream come true. And people are like, why didn't you do another show? Or I say the same thing. I say that show almost killed me. And in fact, it did. It annihilated what
Mm,
was left.
mm.
Whatever was left, it was beautiful. I don't have any regrets. It was one of the most celebratory things that I've ever done for people, and they in turn did it for me. The audience, everyone was amazing. And I'm like, that was it. That was the final nail in the coffin of that version of me. So when you say that about that shift, that was it. I went into a cocoon after that for six
Oh, I
months.
bet. Well, because there's so much grief involved,
That's
right?
it. You have to feel it. You can't
Yeah,
just spiritually freaking bypass yourself when but I'm just a fluffy cloud. No, I'm a person in a lot of pain. And so can we sit and can we feel that pain all the way through so that it can leave? Oh,
yeah,
I don't want to be in pain forever, but the suffering happens when we avoid that work, that
it does.
pain.
Yeah, there's and this
Feel it.
is, we've, and astrologically, come September 1st, like guess what, humanity? We're all in for the next level of whatever 2020 presented for us. And, this work that you are doing, the work that I am doing, this is important stuff to help people get through what's coming down the pipes, which we all feel is coming.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, because things are getting so comical in the show world right now,
Yes.
I'm finding more local people here in Asheville, which has been amazing. And I've started doing a lot of trades with people. Have
Mhm.
you noticed that coming up since all this like interesting stuff going on?
I haven't personally, no,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's not been in my like immediate field. But
Mhm.
I do what I have felt. Maybe this is all the Scorpio in my chart. Is the real separation of that which is, not aligned for me, whether it's a client or a friend or whatever, and the rising and the very quick and immediate attraction to people and people to me that really want to be with me and I really want to be with them.
I
And
mean,
everyone
that's
else just like doesn't like I don't have any more friends that I'm like, oh, that just doesn't exist anymore. I'm like, I love the people that I have in my circle. I love, that those who are close to me. And it's passionate. It's we're there for each other. We're sisters, we're brothers. And then everyone else is like gone.
yeah, that's the South Node in Libra,
That's
but
it.
because of your rising with the Scorpio, like once you see that boundary, you're gonna draw it.
Yeah.
And that's also your rising, the Scorpio ascendant, it's like, of course, it's going to be intimacy and boundaries and the boundary with yourself and, the ability that and gift you have to provide that safe place for your
Yeah.
clients so they can go deep and they
Right.
can allow that transformation.
Because where are we safe? Where do we feel safe? I think that's one of the biggest things, especially for women, even in marriages and long-term relationships. There's like, whether it's, listen, we can't avoid trauma. It's in the field of every single one of us.
Yeah.
And can we not bypass ourselves and go there and form that container together? I love that space. I love the deep. I love the dark. And why? Because we're always rising to the light. We're always,
Yeah.
but I am not afraid of that darkness. My whole life has been spent here trying to get in touch with that light and keep it focused while I'm swimming in that darkness and rising. That relationship is so familiar to me.
Yeah. And we've got a unholy, boy, I can't see it since it got smaller, but Judy, you described so much of what my soul has
Aw,
experienced, but I'm not able to express. You have such a graceful way with describing the in between of silence and feeling safe.
thank you.
And
What a
I had to
beautiful
now
compliment.
call this person a liar because that is so beautifully put.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
beautifully written. So, and thank you for
Thank
that
you.
work
Yeah.
of facilitating, but I have to call this person on this is a beautiful comment and so eloquently expressed.
It really is. Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So what and are you still building? You're still listen, Linda. Listen, Linda, my website, I know it's Judy. I know it's Judy. My website right now is basically a business card and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think the more we all come together and, support each other. That's one thing I've noticed a lot lately with women, like we're coming together to support
Yes.
each other
Yeah.
instead of taking each other down or the cattiness
Mhm.
as the as that veil is getting lifted to reveal what certain behaviors in society have made women do. It's like,
Yeah.
girls,
Yeah.
ladies, goddesses, why are we making it harder on ourselves? Because
And that's it. And it's like and to continually, like, the way that I weave it every day is I have this core group of women and we're texting and we're picking up the phone and we're making coffee dates and we're doing walks and we drop it. to nurture, that has to be consistently nurtured, that soft nest, that soft place that
Oh,
we
yes.
hold for one another, right? And
Yeah.
that's really it. Once I have that, I know that I have that container to fall back on
Yeah.
of
Well,
nurturance from my women friends.
and I don't know about you, but I'm tired of wearing the pants and the dress and the this and the
I
that. And I
refuse.
want to
No.
be in my feminine because I chose to be a woman this lifetime. Thank you.
That's right. Full surrender. And that was the other huge piece that's dropped in the last like 4 years of living in surrender, Kristen, living
Oh,
in my softness. Like,
yes.
forget the pants, we all have masculine and feminine. Okay. When people talk
Yep.
about polarity and people talk about masculine, feminine dynamics, it's not like everyone has masculine and feminine. Yin yang is
Yeah.
a symbol for a reason. Okay. But I enjoy, where is my enjoyment? That's what I always ask my clients. Where is your enjoyment? Okay, you're going through this dark thing. Where is the light? What can you taste in your life right now where it's joyful, right? So my joy is being in my feminine, doing my hair, putting on my little lipstick, wearing my clothes, taking excellent care, going on my hike, my favorite thing, screaming in the woods, doing ritual, burning on the full moon, like whatever it is. How can I really fully soften into my womanness and enjoy that more? Because the more I do it, the easier things seem to get. And I was making it so hard because I was living, I gotta do it, I gotta take control,
Oh,
I
no,
gotta work.
no,
If I
no.
don't do it, who's gonna do it? That's
Like,
not,
we cannot build
you can't.
new earth with that old
It's
paradigm,
not,
masculine
I'm not
flaws
doing it.
ourselves. Me neither. Well, and I'll watch myself as I'm, birthing this show or, all the things I've been doing with Serious Joy. And it's like, I can't,
Not
it's
the
like
same
that
way.
part of me is dying.
Yes.
It's like, no, we can, it's because it is no longer sustainable to operate that way.
Right. And we're opening this new paradigm, right? We're
Yeah.
we're opening it as we're doing business, we're doing transactions, we're doing clients, we're doing connection in a very different way, the divine feminine way, right? We are birthing that quite
Yeah.
literally, right?
Yeah.
How
We
can I meet this client and not stress about it? What if it's just, I'm just receiving and we're just giving,
I
right?
am the container. I
Well,
am the vessel. I am the womb, right?
I am enough as I am. I don't need to try. There's no efforting. And I catch myself constantly like getting ready to do this thing. I'm like, I'm like, okay, can I just relax and get my nice velvet chair and like be, why does it, I'm running the script of like, what's the script? What's the script? That's the masculine. And I don't thrive there. I don't. I thrive when I'm in my softness. And that's a radical act. Still, to this day, it's still a radical act to
Yeah.
allow that feminine to be what presents first.
It's so, and that is the word. I had done some past life regressions long ago in my 20s, waking up and da 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 da. And so much of the guidance then for me was allow. And all my Aries was like, I can't allow that. I'm gonna kick and stretch. But then look at my fist. Like,
I know. It's
you
incredible.
cannot, like, you can't hold it. And I think the divine masculine and men in general need some holding right now, like I'm not a man right now, so I don't know how all these new feminine energies coming into the field are affecting them, and only in the actions that I've been witnessing. And
Right.
I've just been like, oof.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. Men want real women. Men want women to be women. And I know that that is not a popular opinion right now. And I don't actually care because that is that's what feels good to me. That's what my authenticity says, that's what I'm hearing from my clients, that they are tired and they're at war with their partners because they've been competing with their masculinity, right? So in a male-female relationship, if a woman is in control all the time and is domineering, then you're going to emasculate your man. That's just the way that the dynamic works. And if you can soften, he can rise and he can be in his divine masculine, which is what all women say they want, but they don't want to do their part, which is the softening, which
Right.
is accepting that you're not going to be in control all the time. Like, it doesn't work that way. And we live in so much fear because of our past, because of the trauma, because of the patriarchy, blah, 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 on and on and on, right? But if we can be in the present moment and let go right now in a small act, you know, in full surrender to God's source universe, that's what we're really surrendering to. You're not surrendering to your husband, you're surrendering to the divine being that you actually are. You know?
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens when you sit with yourself and
That's
your
it.
nervous system, like, our whole conversation, my heart is totally online,
Mm.
totally open, totally feels safe with you. Like, the space that you do provide is just, it's amazing. And it's just so easy.
You
That's
know,
the fun of it, right?
that's it. That the fun, right? Fun and being ourselves. Like those two things is all I've wanted my entire life, just to be able to be myself, right? Which is why I started writing my own work, right? Which is why I supported families as a doula. Like, can we just live in peace? Can we just speak our truth? Can we just take off all the identities and all the roles and just be with each other as spirits? Like, that's what I invite, right? With my friends, with my family, with my clients. Can we just be together without all of the, whether it's excuses or the masks or the beliefs? Can we just drop
Oh,
all of
the
that?
beliefs and the judgments, like, this is where,
Yeah,
we do all, and I've been saying this for months now, the masculine and the feminine is within all of us. Anything that is working to divide those is not taking us up
oh, I
in
love
that
that.
consciousness.
It's like this. It's like,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I find, allowing ourselves to be neutral is really supportive.
that's it. That, so in the work, right? It's like I bring people to a neutral state because that is the only place we can create in alignment. We have to find neutral.
Yeah.
And what does that feel like? What is that experience of neutrality? I always say, like, the most basic example is like when you wake up in the morning on a good day and it's like you're not asleep and you're not awake. And you can't real I'm like, where am I? At least for me, I'm like, what country am I living in? Like, who's am I in my bedroom? Who's in that?
Spoken like a
Who
true
am I?
Gemini.
Well,
So you
yeah,
wake up and say, "Who am I? Where am I?" every day. Which
yes.
is, that's the rebirth.
That's
That's
the real, but that's really it.
yeah.
Because where are we, right? Where
Yeah.
are we?
Is this a hologram, or is when we're
Right.
traveling and dreaming, is that real? And if y'all hear landscaping, we've got landscaping going
Oh
on,
yeah,
so I hope that doesn't
I
go
don't
through
hear
the
it,
podcast.
but
Okay, good.
that's always our choice point.
Yeah.
We always have that choice, but we forget. We forget we have that choice point to choose
That's
who we are right now in this
Yes,
moment.
because we've got these new devices and we've got this shiny thing we have to pay attention to, or our children, which are very shiny things we have to pay. Oh my God, did you see this pen? Did you see this pen? Oh, it's gone. Now I'm up to hear this distraction and this distraction and this. And with this Jupiter going through Gemini, y'all, those
It's intense.
distractions are
It's
going to
intense.
be amping up big time, especially
Yeah.
when this Mars Jupiter conjuncts in the next couple of weeks. You cannot
Uh-huh.
write astrology coming down
And
the
it
pipe.
right. And it pulls into focus even more for me, to put down the phone. I've been leaving my phone for the last 6 months in another room in the house plugged in so I can be present with my son. Right. So I can do my writing. So I can sit and do my whatever exercises I do in my meditations. And like, And it's not because I'm better or, it's just because that's what keeps me in my body, right?
Yep.
In my experience, in my present moment. So I can hear what wants to come through. So I can hear the guidance, the wisdom of my soul, of my heart that's always communicating with me when I'm not distracted, right? When
And
I'm
always available.
present and
Yeah.
available, right? I can
It's so
hear
funny.
it.
That's when it's so funny because my guides are like, "Oh my gosh, this is your new reality song, Kristen." The whole first line is, "I know who I am, I know what I want, I know where I ought to be."
Ooh.
It's like it just goes in,
Ooh.
and then there's a phrase in there that also says, "Tell me how to just be."
Yeah.
And that is, the stopping, and I think that's where 2020 was the most miraculous blessing for all of humanity
Hells
to
yes.
wakey to the illusion of life. Neptune at 29 Pisces testing until the fall also is revealing the falsehoods.
Yeah. That's all. I mean, that's what it was. And I got right away the falsehoods of the world coming down. I mean, March 2020, I was like, oh, this is it. But I obviously I could not have known like all the stuff that was gonna come through personally and earthquake my life so that I could rebuild, you know? Yeah. I mean, of course, right? Because of course it's an inside job. It is
Always.
always an
This is
inside job.
inside job.
Yeah.
Inside first, outside.
Yeah.
You're a mom on the plane, mask on, oxygen
Of
mask on
course.
you, oxygen mask. Because if
I
you
love
ain't
that.
here, you can't help nobody.
No, that's right. That's right.
And this is one of the huge reasons that I wanted to, do this show to like show the world like how these powerful and really hard transformations have been, and to provide a platform for people to find each other. That's
Right.
what this whole show is all about me doing, and I just love talking to powerful people and getting everything
It's
so like,
great. It's great. These are the conversations that need to be happening. I want to hear this. I listen to your shows and I'm like, oh, yes, real time, real people, opening their hearts and really dropping in and listening, right, to what spirit wants to say, to what our inner wisdom wants to say, and trusting that. And I see you, Kristen. I see you and your inner wisdom and I see your soul.
I,
I see your soul.
I know.
That's
And
all
I'm
I want to do.
like, y'all, oh my God, no. What was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago? Okay, Miss Judy Calabrese, who's been doing her own shows, producing this, producing that. Y'all, I had to like freaking like text her every day, like, hey girl, I need a photo. Hey girl, I was like, oh no, she's hiding.
Right.
Oh, she's hiding. I was like,
True.
because I was hiding.
Yeah.
I was hiding too. I was on the battlefield with, the old paradigm and courts and whatnot. So I had to take my
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But yeah, girl, the social media coming out and stuff, but then Unite the Light, it was like, I can't. I have to. It is time, because we need to start finding each other to provide that energetic, emotional
Well,
support for these changing times ahead.
that's
Because,
it. And the Unite the Light event and Serious Joys, the work that Serious Joy has been doing. I mean, I've been listening to that show for almost 5 years now. First of all, I didn't even know you were connected with that show. I mean, the whole arc of like me finding that show and then realizing you were connected with it and then Unite the Light happening. And I was like, in my mind, I wanted to go because what you guys were doing was so aligned for me. I'm like, yes, I want in-person events where light workers and healers and people of like mind can get together and look at each other and be in real time together. And that's where the magic happens.
yes, and share our business advice, right? Like, or the tech
Yes.
advice. Like, I just lit the cannon and was like, okay, I got to figure this out in
I
five
love it.
minutes. Go.
I love it. And it's, what's so funny, Kristen, I didn't tell you this. So I had, right when United Light was happening, I wrote you an email
You said, "Can I send you an email?"
Yeah.
And that was when I got back from Unite the Light, and I was like, "Where'd she go?" So
I
I've
never
been
sent
knowing.
it.
I
I never
knew.
sent it. I never
Well,
sent the email
looking
because I
for
was
it.
like, that's it. That's the 3D, 5D. That's like the in and out still of like masculine versus feminine. Like, can I allow the feminine to really be present? Masculine's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. She doesn't, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and then the feminine was like, just send me email. Like, you feel drawn to this person. Like, there's so much resonance here. And the masculine's like, what are you really going to say? I mean, that's the perfect example. And then I see on your Facebook page this podcast, and I was like, oh, like my feminine's like, let me go play in the garden. Hi, Kristen. This looks like a really fun show. You want to be on the show? What? And I'm like, that is the perfect example of the feminine and how that river, right, just flows and what delights me today, and how the mind, I'm not saying the mind is the masculine, but it does have a sort
No,
of
but I
masculine
mean, it's
energy
also
of
Chiron in
editing,
Aries. Yeah, Chiron
you
in
know?
Aries. Yeah, we us having to stand in our power
That's it.
and say yes.
That Chiron in Aries has been intense, by the way. My Chiron is in Aries.
What degree? You don't have to say.
20.
Mine's 25.
Mine's high, but I don't know what degree. It's
Okay.
been intense. Like, that's been another one of these
Oh
transformation
yeah,
things.
the Chiron
Talk about
return.
who are you really? Like, how much can you heal? Yeah.
Exactly. Well, mine's at a Neptune ruled 25 degrees.
Oh, wow.
So it's coming in the next couple of years. And I'm like, oh God, I'm starting all this stuff now. And who am I going to be after 50? Right? Because it's just like, wait, am I 40? Did I turn 49 this year? I don't even know.
Wow. Mine
Yeah.
hit right at 2020. Like, right when 20 when I say that I dissolved. Like,
So
my
you've had your
personhood.
Chiron returns?
Yes.
Girl, I swear I am a leg up on my Chiron.
Yeah, good.
I don't know, but that's
Well,
no wonder. No
yeah.
wonder.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it because there's so many factors,
Well, you
It's
know,
like,
I'm an
but that was a
astrologer
big
and
one.
I do this for people. I'm
That
like,
was a
oh
big
my
one.
goddess, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. But that's so, and here you are. So is the best way, because I want people to be able to find
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
So let me redo this caption because it's Judy Calabrese, and I'm going to redo this caption because I am so good at technology now, y'all. I am so good at it that it's Soul Desire Coaching on Facebook. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to take that long Facebook thing off because nobody can read. I mean, I can't read it. So I just want to make sure. And is there, okay, good. Okay, save. Did it do it? Let's see if it did it. Boom, y'all.
Oh, I
This
love it.
is
Thank you.
who we are talking to. And you can find her. And are you like a Monday through Friday
I
or
am.
like
I'm really flexible. I like to work at all different times, but mostly Monday
that's
through Friday.
feminine too, right?
It is. It's the
Like,
flow. Sometimes I love Sunday morning meetings. Like, I
yeah,
love seeing a client on Saturday night. Like, why not? Like that,
yeah.
if that lines up and that feels good, heck yeah,
Well, and that's something I have found, with saying no to, I'm not going to schedule things that way. I'm not going to do this show every Wednesday at noon,
Right. Good
or
for
I'm
you.
not going to, it has to be this, or this is how it has to look. I think the more that we provide ourselves that freedom of the flow, you can't write the script better than Mother, Father, God. You can't. You
What do you
can't write
mean?
the schedule. You can't
Oh, I
write
see what you're saying.
the
Right,
schedule
right. Better than
of the
divine timing. Right.
flow,
You're not.
of allowing the space to be here, or oh, this fell away because this needed to go away so that this can appear.
Opened
It's
up.
just all this ebbing and
Totally.
flowing
Yes.
and ebbing and flowing.
And that used to, I don't know about you, but that used to terrify me. Like, when I would be on stage, I had every line memorized. I had every move
Oh,
memorized. I was
see,
like,
you're opposite.
consummate professional, every step choreographed.
I,
I couldn't work
I,
without it. And
yeah,
now I'm like getting ready for this show, and I'm like, I don't
yeah.
know, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, who am
I
I?
am the
What
opposite.
am I doing? It's
I
completely
would
new.
memorize this stuff, and be terrified that I'm going to mess something up. And then
Of
when
course.
I would, the ad lib or the thing that I would put in there would be so much better, but I'd get in a
Better.
little bit of trouble with my
Yeah.
directors. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'll fix
Sure.
it. But that's where this show for me, I'm like, I don't need to prepare because I'm just going to be the
So
person.
good.
And the questions come because I care about people getting to know who you are and your gifts and
Yeah.
what gifts you have to share and offer. It's all so fucking beautiful, man. So fucking beautiful. I'm like, oh, am I gonna get a strike? Oh, dude, that hurts.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh
I'm
no.
so afraid. I'm so afraid. Are you gonna
I mean, the amount of times I've been kicked off Facebook, I could write a book just
Well,
about
and
that.
that was my
It's insane.
question that I'm trying to get to because I'm just laughing and having so much fun with you now. You know, this is the best way because you didn't want to do social media. I mean, I've just been on social media again since February, maybe March.
Yeah.
And it
I'm not a big because listen, I'm so happy to be here with you in real time. And what it doesn't do, there's no because there's no form, right? We're just having a conversation. This aligns for me, right? It's free, it's open, but making a video about, your soul's calling, I don't know what it is, Kristen, but I have a really hard time with it. And I do think that we're going to be seeing in our lifetime the end. I do. I think we're going to be seeing the end of all of this. It's
I think that's
nonsense. It's
well,
nonsense. It's not real. It's not alive. I want to be
oh
alive. I want to be in
yeah,
this now
oh
moment.
yes, and you know it's going to happen when Saturn and Neptune escort each other onto 0 degrees Aries in February of 2026. That's when the big
Fuck yeah, I'm ready
beginnings
for it.
happen. So we're still in the dismantling. Saturn is retrograde. Neptune's still at 29.
I'm just ahead of my time.
Well,
That's all.
so am
I'm
I,
just
girl. I feel you. But I need to light the cannon and shoot
waiting.
myself out of the freaking thing so I can start it because that is
Yeah.
something that I'm actually good at. So thanks. Now, so this is your
Right
soul
on.
desire coaching. I want people to have access to your
Yeah.
Instagram because you're active on Instagram, Loki.
I am. I'm active on Instagram and
And
on
so do you,
Facebook. Yes. Those are where people find me the most. They find me on Facebook and
and
they
then they
find me on
just
Instagram.
private message you. Or
Yeah, and then private message me. There's a few posts on there. I did some videos here and there where I could, but really I find that people find me. I don't really know how.
what?
It's serious goddess work.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I'm not people just find me. I actually don't know how. I've stopped
Power
asking how.
versus
They just
force.
do.
It's because you're in your divine feminine.
It's allowing. I'm allowing. And so they find me. So if you'd like to find me, I'm findable. If it lines up, I'm here.
Oh my gosh. This has been just such a delight. Like we're not up to the hour.
Oh,
We could go another 5 minutes. Is there anything
so
else you would
joyful.
like to share with people?
I mean, we tap in and see what wants to come through.
Because I feel like there's something.
I know. I feel like there is too. I think, you know what? I like to say, I like to take the gloves off. I like to take the gloves off conversations. And people are like, well, are you a therapist? I'm like, no, not even close, because I would never play by those
Never.
rules. I wouldn't.
Those
Never.
people
I
still
wouldn't.
don't even know
I
who wrote those rules that have written all of this.
have I don't believe we're here to be healed. I believe we already are healed. Can we have a conversation around that? What if we're already healed?
Mm.
What if we're perfect as we are? Can we start there? And can we remove whatever's in the way of that knowing?
Mm.
If there's a problem, it's
Yeah,
that.
it's just
It's
empowerment.
that.
It's giving the power
That's it.
away from
Mhm. Right. If we see ourselves as sick, if we see ourselves as needing to be healed, if we see
wounded.
ourselves as, well, I need to go find that answer, it will never be found, healed. You'll never get there. That's why it's an inside job. And so where I meet my clients is exactly where they are. And we clear away that which is unwanted so that what is wanted and what is desired can be revealed because it's right here. It's right here. You have it inside of you. I am not here bringing you anything, healing you, figuring anything out. I am a direct reflection of what your soul wants to see.
Yes.
That's it.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it, everybody.
Yeah. And it's really my honor and my joy to do
It's
so.
just so beautiful, Judy.
It's so immensely joyful.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh. This is just
Thank you,
I am
Kristen.
so grateful for your yes. Thank you for making me work a little bit for it in case I have to chase. I now know how I have to chase future Katie Ward in the chat with us. She's another divine artist who
Yeah,
is going to be
she's
she's going to
incredible.
be with us.
She's
Well,
incredible.
I'm so excited and I'm watching her stuff. You're with us on the 15th. I think
Yay,
show
Katie.
August 15th. And that one's going to be at like 12:30. So look out for that because the
I will
full
be
moon will
there.
be coming in. That's going to
Oh,
whopper on the night
yes,
with the Uranus
yes.
aspect. And I think I'm going to be doing something special for the Lionsgate broadcast that I am going to do next week. And I'm going to see what Mother, Father, God is going to reveal to me on that one.
Yes.
Perfect.
Give me some Lionsgate. I will be there at a Lionsgate event.
Awesome.
Absolutely, yes.
Judy Calabrese of Soul Desire Coaching. Oh my gosh, sister, I just love you so much. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thanks for being here on the
yes,
path,
sister.
lighting it up and letting it freaking be. Letting it be. Right on, Kristen. Thank you for doing this beautiful work. Thank you for being you and being the beautiful soul that you are and doing your work and putting it out there. It can be scary as
my
hell.
stuff ain't normal, girl. I'm doing this technology with this platonic sound. It is real. We are creating vibrant prescriptions for people that are of your own organic frequency and putting it's real.
Oh my God. That sounds
We'll talk more about that after. We're not done talking. I love you so much. Thank you so much.
I love you too.
Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 7.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you.
Who are you? Who? Who are you? Who?